At this time, I'm pleased to invite the president of Trident University, Andy Vaughn, to the podium. President Vaughn will offer our graduates his thoughts and deepest congratulations. Andy?
Welcome to Southern California, and I say that because we have almost 2,000 visitors from all around the country and all around the world. You can always tell when you're in Southern California because when there's a light rain outside, it's the top story on the news. So those from the Midwest, I know you think we're a bunch of amateurs when it rains, but that's how you can always tell when you're in SoCal. So welcome. We have a very passionate crowd today. Our campus has been buzzing for weeks. This is our favorite time of year. We're very excited to have you here today. We also have a few thousand viewers from across the world on streaming video. Last year we had about 3,000. We expect that many today as well, so no pressure, but a few thousand people viewing on their home TV screens and computers. Today is all about the graduate, and it should be. Today is your day, but this moment would not be possible without a lot of support. I've worked in higher education for over 16 years, and it's funny, I've consistently heard reasons why someone would not finish college or even start in the first place. Most people who don't finish college blame it on one thing. They say, I can't afford it. They say it costs too much. And that is simply not true. That's a knee-jerk reaction. I know this because national unemployment rate has been around 8% the past couple of years, but the national unemployment rate done by education level tells a much different story. You've heard of the Bureau of Labor, of course, and facts don't lie, and this data tells a story that I think you should be interested in. For those with less than a high school diploma, the unemployment rate right now is about 13%. Keep in mind the national average is around 8%. For those with an associate degree, unemployment rate is about 6.5%. Bachelor's, 4.5%, master's, 3.5%, and those with doctoral degrees, 2.5. Between an associate's and a master's degree, it's about a 50% difference. Education pays, and the research shows it. So if the data tells us that education pays, what is stopping so many people from completing college and their education goals? What's the real reason that you are here today and many others are not? It's the biggest asset we all have, and that's time. Time is the most valuable asset we have. Time with family, time with friends, time for your career, time for everything you desire. If you don't believe time is the most valuable asset in the world, then you've never heard what I say when I'm stuck in the 405 freeway in LA during rush hour. Truth is, most people don't continue college because of time, and this is where support systems come in. You could not do this and complete this goal without a support system. We would not be able to achieve our goals without support of our family, our friends, and our colleagues. So we're going to flip the tables just for a moment. If we could have all the graduates today please rise. Just the graduates today please rise. Now graduates, we're going to turn the tables. Let's thank your support system, your family, your friends, your colleagues that are here in the audience today and all around the world watching on streaming video. Now see, because we gave your family a standing ovation, your free graduation meal tonight just got upgraded. It was right around Sizzler a few minutes ago. I think you're at Outback at this point. We're going to aim for Applebee's a little bit later. So tell your family to get that wallet out and let's have a great meal tonight and celebrate a little bit. So you've probably heard of the term deferred gratification. Deferred gratification is the act of delaying some small pleasures now so that great advancement and larger pleasures can come later tomorrow. Matter of fact, I remember one Thanksgiving where I gave 1 hour to the family dinner and 10 to my master's thesis. But you know, I gladly gave up a few hours that Thanksgiving so that I could ensure I could give my family even higher quality Thanksgivings for decades to come. That's deferred gratification, and our graduates know all about that. If you keep making withdrawals from your gratification account without building some savings in there, you'll look back later in life and say, I could have, I should have, I would have. But luckily, all of you today, as graduates, can say you did it. Now, we can't guarantee many things in life, but I will guarantee you this: education pays. It's the best thing and best investment you can make in yourself. And I know that from personal experience, and I've seen it for over 16 years with others. For 16 years, though, I've heard excuses on why not to start college, why not to finish college, why to drop out. But yet I know people We'll take our car in every 3 months for an oil change. We'll wash it, maintain it. When that check engine light comes on, we'll rush out and go fix it, spend lots of money on it. We put new flooring in our house, we paint it, we put new curtains up, new carpet. How often do individuals do the same for themselves and invest money in themselves? I asked these students, when is the last time you invested time and money and resources in maintaining your brain? I know people who spend more on their car per year than they spend on maintaining themselves, and that's a true story. We get a newer and bigger TV, we want it now. Everybody knows that the iPhone 5 is much better than the iPhone 4. But instead of bragging about what version of smartphone I've got, how about we brag about what version of myself I'm working on next? Maybe you're on 7.0 now and 7.5 is coming next week, but personal development, professional development is really key. Speaking of deferred gratification, we have many military service members in the audience today. Let's hear it for them. We got some noisemakers out there. I heard that. That's excellent. Another form of deferred gratification, right? You've missed time with your family so that your country could remain free. We thank you for your service. Now, I've never been active duty military. My father was. I was actually born and raised on Offutt Air Force Base in Bellevue, Nebraska. My dad was a Chief Master Sergeant. And for my dad, the military was his ticket. He was born really poor family on a farm, 7 brothers and sisters. His only ticket to higher ed was the Air Force. That was it. There was no other way out. And that's absolutely true. Nobody from his family had ever attended college. There was no way he could either without the Air Force. Matter of fact, I think right after his faith and family, the Air Force was the love of his life. You see, he did 2 consecutive tours in Hawaii, and I know the Air Force was adored by him because even after this cruel trick, he still loved the Air Force. He did 8 years in Hawaii, and then one day, somewhere in the early 60s, he got that call about his next stop, and they said, Chief Vaughn, speaking, we'd like to send you with a one-way ticket to Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska. How does that sound to you, sir? Now, I wasn't born yet, but I believe that it didn't go over very well, but he used to tell me that his boss actually got the raw end of the deal because he got sent to Minot, North Dakota, and he thought Bellevue, Nebraska looked like a resort town compared to his boss. Back in those days, I think they called it Why Not, Minot, and Awful Offutt. So many in this room are also grateful to the service and the military for funding their college education. What a great benefit it is. So today, we celebrate as you go off to achieve that promotion, to change careers, to start the next level of degree program. Here's just a few thoughts and a few words as you write your next professional chapter. First of all, prioritize, which I believe is the key to success. You got 100 things coming at you in a day. True success comes when you know which 2 to choose and concentrate that day. So many people in life give equal footing and equal attention to all 100 things that nothing ever gets done. The trick is to prioritize and figure out which 2 matter and get those done today. Number 2, honesty. Professional honesty is lacking in a lot of organizations. I don't have a professional story to share with you, but I've got a personal one. About a year ago, I was still living in Chicago. Great restaurants, by the way, some of the best in the world. Sharing dinner with about 4 friends. Brand new restaurant. And the woman walks up, and right before she walks up, we're talking about how bad the food is, how bad the service was, and all the change that should take place. And everyone at the table agreed. So the woman walks up to the table, and she says, good evening, gentlemen. My name is Patty. I'm the owner of the restaurant. How is everything tonight? I'm really anxious to hear. We just opened last weekend. I was taking that breath to give her professional feedback in a mature manner. And before I could say anything, everyone at the table except for me said, everything's great. Thank you very much. It's wonderful. So she leaves, and I asked them, why'd you do that? And they said, well, we didn't want to be rude, didn't want to hurt her feelings. But understand something. There's a way you can deliver an honest message in a professional, mature manner that someone understands how to grow and how to change things. And that's lacking in our culture in many aspects. Because she probably wanted to hear that so she could fix it. And I said, what's going to happen now is that restaurant will be closed because you didn't tell her the truth. Next is listen. Not just listen to each other, but I think even more important than that is listen to yourself. So there's this little thing called the little voice in your head. Call it a spiritual guide, call it intuition. But the older I get, and I'm sure you can share the same, the more I know, the more you ignore that voice, that's when major disasters happen later. You get that gut feeling not to do something or to do something, make a decision. Listen to that little voice. I will guarantee you it is always right. Balance. Work-life balance is extremely important. If you're going to a career change or a promotion or another organization or the one you're in, I can tell you this. I was with an organization once where everyone used to brag and one up about how long it was since they took a vacation. And I think that's sad. One vice president said, I haven't taken a vacation in 5 years. Another one upped and said, I haven't taken one in 7. Someone else topped that and said, I haven't taken one in 10. But understand something, vacations are there so you regenerate, and I can tell you some of the best ideas I've had strategically have come when I'm on vacation. When your brain gets to relax, you become a better person at work. Work-life balance is important. You'll never get that time back. But I can tell you, if you've got a balance of family life, friends, hobbies, and work, you'll be a better employee. Preemptive, it's a big piece of communication that's missing. Preemptive is really important to remember because when you communicate written, verbally, non-verbally, always try to think, how can I preempt questions? How can I make sure they understand exactly what I'm saying? Be so crystal clear that there's no room for questions. I call it the preemptive strike. When you communicate, always think the listener and receiver's got to know what you're really talking about. I know that seems simple, but it's not. Number 7, always be humble. Number 8, laugh a little bit. A sense of humor will carry you through. A sense of humor is really important, even in professional manner. Finally, the last 2, excellence. If you strive for perfection and achieve excellence, you're going places. I worked with a guy once who used to brag about how he had 20 years of experience in our career. 20 years. I've been doing this for 20 years. But he kept getting passed by for promotions. He kept getting passed by for raises. He would show up, go through the motions, and put in his time of 20 years. Survive, not thrive. He was just surviving, and thrive is where you want to be. He would brag, I've got 20 years of experience, and I kept thinking, no, you don't. You've got 1 year of experience 20 times, and there's a big difference. Lastly is authentic, and I believe this to be the most important quality in your personal and professional life. Be comfortable in your own skin, be who you are, be authentic, be nothing else. If you try to be somebody else, even for a moment, it doesn't feel right inside. On the authenticity note, I'd like to close with my favorite quote. It kind of sums up authenticity. It states, never be bullied into silence, never allow yourself to be made a victim in life, accept no one's definition of your life, define yourself. I'll read that last line. Accept no one's definition of your life or success. Define yourself.